You check your phone. Then you check it again and again. By noon, you've done it dozens of times. But here's what stings. You didn't plan any of it. Not one of those glances was on your list. Not one moved your life forward. Yet if someone reached into your pocket and took a single coin, you'd feel it right away. 2,000 years ago, a Roman thinker named Seneca noticed the same blind spot. Not with phones, of course, but with time. He watched people guard their gold with locks and dogs and armed men. Then he watched those same people hand over their hours to anyone who asked. A boring guest, a long speech, an errand that meant nothing. They gave away the one thing they could never earn back, and they didn't even flinch. His claim was sharp and simple. Life is not short. We make it short. And by the end of this, you might see your own day in a way that's hard to unsee. Think about the last time your bank sent you a low balance alert. Your stomach dropped. You opened the app. You moved money around. You acted fast. Now think about the last time you lost 2 hours to nothing. Maybe you scrolled. Maybe you sat in a meeting that could have been 3 lines in an email. Did your stomach drop then? Did you rush to fix it? Most likely, you didn't even notice. That gap between how we treat money and how we treat time is the core of what Seneca wrote about. He put it this way: people are tight with their cash but loose with their lives. And he wasn't guessing. He saw it play out in the courts of Rome, among the richest and most powerful people on earth. They had more gold than they could ever spend. But they were always busy, always rushing, always saying they'd start living next year. Seneca looked at them and said, "You're not busy. You're empty. You've filled your days with noise, and you've confused that noise with purpose." But here's the part most people skip over when they quote Seneca. He wasn't asking you to hustle harder. He wasn't building some ancient version of a grind culture. In fact, he warned against that too. He drew a clear line between being busy and being alive. A packed schedule doesn't mean a full life. It can mean the opposite. You can run from dawn to dark and still waste every hour if none of them point toward what matters to you. The question he kept asking was simple. Are you spending your time, or is your time spending you? Now, let's bring this forward. Because the world Seneca lived in had its own traps. But ours are faster, louder, and far more clever. In his day, time thieves wore human faces. A chatty neighbor, a patron who kept you waiting, a crowd that pulled you in with gossip. In our day, those thieves fit in your palm. They buzz. They glow. They learn what you like and feed you more of it. Each pickup opens a door. A quick check turns into a scroll. A scroll turns into 10 minutes. 10 minutes turns into a pattern that runs on loop day after day until the hours stack up. And those are just the things you choose. There are others you don't. The average office worker sits through 62 meetings a month. Half of them could have been an email. Each time you stop what you're doing, walk to a room or click a link, and listen to things that often don't need you there. Meanwhile, your inbox fills up with messages that demand small choices, one after another, each one pulling focus from the work that matters. But wait, before we blame the tools, Seneca would push back. He'd say the cruelest thief isn't the app or the meeting, it's you. You hand over the key. Every time you open a feed with no goal, you've made a choice. Every time you say yes to a task that means nothing to you, you've signed a check. And unlike money, it's gone the way smoke is gone. You watch it rise and then it's not there. You watch it rise and then it's not there. This is where Seneca's thinking gets sharp enough to cut. He asked people to picture the end of their lives, not as a dark exercise, not to scare them, but to wake them up. He called it a kind of rehearsal. You sit with the thought that your days have a limit. You hold it. You don't look away. And something strange happens. The present moment gets brighter. The small things you kept pushing off. A walk, a real talk with someone you love, a project that scares you. Those things move up your list because you've just told yourself the truth. This doesn't last forever. Modern research backs this up in ways Seneca couldn't have known. Studies on morning journaling show that naming one priority before the day starts can double the odds you actually work on it. Not because writing is magic, but because it forces a pause. A kind of journal where you name what matters and what you'll focus on led to a clear jump in how much people got done. Not because writing is magic, but because it forces a pause. It puts you face to face with your own choices before the world starts choosing for you. That pause is the crack where Seneca's wisdom fits right in. Before the phone buzzes, before the inbox fills, before someone else's plans become your plans. You decide, and here's a twist that might sting. Most of us already know this. We know we waste time. We feel it at night, lying in bed, running through the day, wondering where it all went. We know the scroll adds up. We know the meetings drag. We know we said yes to things we should have refused. The gap isn't knowledge, it's action. Seneca himself lived this tension. He was one of the richest men in Rome. He served under Nero, one of the most chaotic rulers in history. He spent hours each day writing letters and handling state business he didn't believe in, and he wrote about it with bitter honesty. He knew his own life didn't match his words, but he kept writing anyway because the aim wasn't perfection. It was waking up, day after day, trying again. So does Seneca's view have limits? Yes, and this matters. His model assumes you have control over your time, that you can simply choose to stop and reflect. But not everyone can. A single parent working 2 jobs doesn't have the luxury of a quiet morning journal. A person in a system that demands constant output can't just say no to meetings. Seneca wrote from wealth and power. His advice works best when you have at least some space to move. Strip away that space, and the whole framework leans. This doesn't erase his insight. It frames it. His tools work when you have room to use them. The first step might be carving out that room, even if it's small. There's also a deeper question hiding here. Not all unplanned time is wasted. Sometimes the scroll leads you to an idea. Sometimes the long walk with no goal is where the breakthrough lives. Seneca valued rest, actual rest, deeply. He used a Latin word, otium, that means something between leisure and calm focus. It's not laziness. It's not hustle. It's the space where your mind sorts itself out. The danger isn't rest. It's fake rest. The kind where your body sits still, but your mind chases hits of pleasure through a feed that never ends. Real rest leaves you fuller. Fake rest leaves you drained. And most of us know the difference when we're honest. So what do you actually do with this? Seneca left a few moves that still work. First, the morning pause. Before your day starts, write down one thing that matters. Not 10 things. 1. Let that one thing shape the first hour. Second, the evening review. At the end of the day, ask yourself one question. Did I spend my hours or did they spend me? You don't need an app for this. You need a moment. Third, and this is the one most people resist, practice saying no. Not to everything, but to the next thing that shows up and asks for your time without earning it. The meeting that could be a message. The call that has no point. The scroll that starts with one tap and ends with half an hour lost. These aren't hacks. They're habits of attention, and they add up. James Clear, who writes about habit change, points out that a tiny gain each day builds fast. A small edge today doesn't feel like much, but run it across a year and the curve bends sharply upward. Seneca said the same thing in different words. He wrote that life is long enough for the person who uses it well. Not perfectly, not without error, just with eyes open. If this shifted how you see your own day, even a little, there's more like this on the channel. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me this. What's the one thing that steals your time the most, and do you even want it back? You checked your phone this morning without thinking. You'll check it again tonight. But somewhere between those 2 taps, there's a gap. And that gap is yours. Seneca's only question was whether you'd notice it in time.